My name is Isabel and I'm from the Philippines. I'm 41. So, I've been living here in Vancouver for 8 years now. First 2 years as live-in caregiver for the Choi family. After staying with the Choi's, I got an open work permit, so I opened the door of my life, I told myself. After another 2 years, I got my permanent residence, and of course, I tried to get my family here right away. But that took another 2 years. So much paperwork, and plane tickets aren't cheap, you know. I haven't gone home to Manila for 6 years. Anyway, last year, my son Miguel moved here with me. He's 15 now, and he was barely 7 years old when I left Manila, but now he's here. My son is here. And after all these years of waiting, this is all that matters.
Hey, sup? Miguel here. Been in Canada for over a year. Is that? Yeah. Canada is okay, I guess. Pretty different, well. Very different. Stuff here is crazy expensive, like 100 times more than in Manila. You stay in this basement suite on 43rd and Fraser. Actually, I didn't know why they call it a suite, when there's nothing sweet about it. Freezing during winter. And I can't play my music because Mr. Abdul upstairs complained it's too loud. It's nothing like the place we had in Manila, where we had real windows that overlook the street. Now, the street overlooks us. Basta, next year, I'm turning 16, and I can't wait to get a job. I'm gonna get one at Timmy's, earn a shitload of money, and get out of this camp. Yeah, that's all that matters.
Sometimes, I wake up in the morning when it's still dark outside. I look at the white beams of the ceiling and I say to myself, how did I get here to Canada and why the hell am I even here? I feel like I'm in a dream, but the dream is real, so I have to get ready for work. So, I make breakfast for Miguel and me. Spam, fried eggs, garlic rice, and lots of banana ketchup. You know, in Manila, spam is not cheap. We only eat it on Sunday before going to church. Now, I tell my friends back home, you know what, Pasing? In Canada, we eat spam every day. After cooking, I shower quickly and by 6, I'm out of the house to get to work. Miguel doesn't wake up till 8. Hay nako, I actually don't know what time that boy goes to bed. I have a job at a grocery and I'm there until 10 p.m. By the time I get home, Miguel's in his bedroom with his headphones on. He always says he's doing his homework, but I think he's just watching videos. But what can I do? Hi, teenagers these days. Sometimes, I want to go into his room and just ask him, how was your day, anak? How's school? After a whole day of speaking in English, after all that nonsense at work, I'd like to come home and hear his voice, to speak to me in Tagalog, so that, so that I could be home again.
So I got home after school yesterday. Man, I was starving. Opened the fridge, bagels and tuna salad, and leftover spam. Oh, I hate tuna salad. I'm sick of bagels. I want rice, and sinigang, or adobo, or caldereta. But Inay can only cook these dishes on Sunday, her day off. She'd make a whole pot, and we'd eat the whole week. But today is Thursday, and there's none left. That's what the tuna salad is for. Back in Manila, when I lived at my Lola's, my grandmother, every night, we would have at least 3 dishes. My Lola loved to cook. My Uncle Alex works at the call center in the Philippines at a graveyard shift. He's a customer service representative. You think you're calling someone who's in Surrey or New West, but the truth is, you're talking to my Uncle Alex in Manila. They retain to speak in a Canadian accent, like, "So how can I help you today? What is it about?" Uncle Alex has dinner with us before he leaves for work. It would always be so noisy around the dining table. And Lola would keep on topping up our plate with food. We have those kinds of work back in Manila naman. Why don't they just choose Manila instead of being far from their loved ones? Now I go home to our suites, and all I have is tuna salads and the TV. I don't know any of the neighbors, so I spend the rest of the evening playing GTA. The only best part is that Inay got me these kick-ass headphones last Christmas, so that Mr. Hago Paul upstairs would stop complaining about the noise. So that means I could play until 2 in the morning. Completely undetected. Yup, that's how it works.
Yesterday, I had a really bad episode at work. I had a very little sleep the night before because I did the laundry and there was just so much to wash. Anyways, there was this grumpy woman with her child who was in a hurry to get a certain item, but there was none of it on the shelf, so I had to get a stock of it. When I got back, I gave her the wrong stock. She then immediately noticed my mistake and started nagging. She turned to her daughter and said, "This is why you have to study hard, or else you will be just like her." I froze. Just like her. The words echoed in my head the whole day as I helped random customers with certain items. Just like her. What does it mean to be just like me? When I got home, all I wanted was to see Miguel, to hear his voice. I wanted to find in his face some sign that I've made the right choices. You know, that I've been a good mother, that I wasn't just like her. I knocked on his door. "Miguel? Anak?" But he was asleep.
Couldn't sleep last night. It's exactly a year today since I lost my father. I wonder how he is, if he thinks of me, sometimes. When I was living with my Lola and Dinay, was here in Canada. My father worked in Cavite, 40 kilometers away from my Lola's place. He had a sales job there, and because traffic is really bad, he rented a room in Cavite and left me with my Lola. He would go to see me on Saturdays, and sometimes he'd stay till Sunday. I remember he used to say, "Don't worry, anak. We'll see your inay soon. Just wait." And the next thing you know, you'll be playing in the snow, eating spaghetti and meatballs every day, every night, and wait for the phone to ring. For a night to call and say, "Miguel, come to Canada tomorrow." But as years went by, and as I waited for that particular phone call, I began to see less, and less of my father as well. At first, he'd say he had to work overtime, that I needed him to work Saturdays. Sometimes, it'd be because of the traffic. But you know, even if he didn't come, I knew that just like me, he waited for Inay too.
Roberto? That asshole? I can't wait for the time when my blood doesn't boil every time I think of that son of a bitch. I guess there's no better way to refer to him. 10 years ago, when Miguel was 5, I was teaching English at a public high school and Roberto was a med rep. You know, a salesperson for pharmaceuticals. He'd go to doctors and talk about this no wonder drug and how it will cure everything from migraine, the acne. We realized at one point that no matter how hard we worked, what we were earning would never be enough to send Miguel to a good university or to buy a house. Our neighbor Pasing had a cousin who went to Canada through the live-in caregiver program, and Pasing told us how their whole family got to go to Canada and find jobs, and that life was good. So I thought to myself, maybe I could do it. Yes, I love teaching, but I want to give my kid a good future, and in Manila, a teacher's salary will never be enough. At first, Roberto didn't like the idea. Nakakahiya, he would say. What would the neighbors say? A teacher going to abroad to be a caregiver in someone's house? I told him, Roberto, there's no space for hiya here. If we want to build this family, we'll have to let go of shame. We just need to do what must be done.
I know, or you should do my homework. But who cares about that? Even though, if you don't get A's, you're still a winner here in Canada, diba? University is just for rich people anyway. The other day, a teacher asked me something about the migration of swallows. And I read about it in front of the class. A couple of months back, when I said Shaughnessy instead of Shaughnessy, everyone laughed at me.
You know, in Shaughnessy, when I was working for the choice, I got paid $8 an hour. They took out $325 each month for room and board, and that left me with around $900. I would keep $150 to pay for my phone, my shampoo, and everything else, and some money for going out on my days off. The rest I would send home for Miguel's school and his living expenses. I was happy to earn more than twice I was earning in Manila, but of course, I was so homesick. I missed my family and gossiping with my friends. I missed being a teacher. At first, I would call Roberto every week on Saturdays when he and Miguel were together. But then, sometimes Roberto couldn't go to Manila, and to save money, I called every other week. Then, it became once a month. Every night before going to bed, I would look at our family picture from the last Christmas I spent in Manila and think about how happy we were. What's a little homesickness? This is for your family. This is for Miguel.
When my mom finally got the family visa for us to come over, we had to wait for another year to get the money ready for tickets and stuff. Things were kinda okay the first couple of months. We were here. Everything was so new and different. As the weather got colder and colder, though, temperature at home got hotter and hotter. Inaya ni Tay started fighting. A lot.
Sorry! Sorry na naman! Lagi na lang sorry eh!
Sorry, ito lang mabibigay ko.
And it was always about money. I could never hear anything at the start because they used to fight in their room. Then later, they'd fight in the living room. And by then, my headphones were already my best friend. One morning, I wake up and found Inay sitting at the foot of the bed, crying. The closet was open, and my father's clothes were gone. I haven't seen him since.
Ay nako, Roberto!
Ano naman ba problema mo?
Ano ba?
Ano naman ba nagawa ko?
Nanyemas, Roberto, hindi naman kasi pwedeng habang buhay medrep ka. Pagod na ako.
Huwag ka naman ganyan, mahal. Bagong kasal pa nga lang tayo eh. Hintay-hintay ka lang. Makasenso rin tayo.
Ay nako, Roberto, nagsasawa na ako sa ganitong buhay. Ikaw, ewan ko na sa'yo.
Mahal naman eh. Alam mo naman dito lang ako sa trabaho to. Feeling ko may halaga ako. Nakakahiyang mag-apply sa ibang trabaho.
Di mo papakain ng hiya mo si Miguel.
Relax, mahal. Gusto mo, inom na lang tayo.
For fuck's sake, Roberto, inom na naman. Konti na lang lulubo na yung tiyan mo. The moment I saw them actually at my apartment, I ran and I hugged Miguel so tight I think he couldn't breathe. And I also hugged that bastard Roberto. While he and Miguel were looking outside my window to see what my place was like, I remember looking at my son, then him, my husband. The mole on his cheek, his mustache, pointy ears. I recognized all of those. But then, I realized that there was also a part of him I didn't recognize anymore. And although I couldn't put my finger on it, I knew something had changed.
Things change so much here. The weather, the seasons. One day you're at your Lola's, where it's always sunny, and you have so much fun. Next thing you're in a city, trapped in a basement. And it just keeps raining. Your voice changes, your body changes. And you feel just like a pancake. Your whole world flipped upside down.
So of course I took them downtown, and I showed them Gastown, Yaletown, and my personal favorite, Metrotown. Everything was new and exciting at first, but then things changed when Roberto, no matter how hard he tried, couldn't find a job. He didn't want to do something like the grocery. He thought it was beneath him. I'd tell him, but this is how it works here. You need Canadian experience. Nakakahiya, he'd say, and we'd always end up fighting. Because of several rocket jobs, I hardly got to see the both of them. I'd be so exhausted when I get home. Many times, Roberto would go 5 blocks away to see the house of Kiko, who's also from the same hometown. Kiko lived with his wife, 2 kids, his sister-in-law, and a cousin. And Roberto would go there practically every day so that they could talk about life back in the Philippines and how every day was a fiesta. Kami naman, the only time we had as a family was my day off on Sunday and when we went to church. And that's when I'd pray to the Blessed Virgin Mary to knock some sense into my husband's head. Otherwise, I'll knock his head with something harder. Anyway, one night, this was like a year ago, he came home drunk. As I led him to bed and drew closer to him, I smelled something on his neck, and it was not the smell of my shampoo. I know every fragrance of shampoo, lotion, and laundry soap in this house, and I knew this was not one of them. Roberto, sabihin mo nga sa akin ang totoo. He broke down and cried.
You don't own me. You don't own me. You don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't own me.
He'd been having an affair with that sister-in-law of Kiko for the past 3 months. 3 months? Akalain mo yun? At that moment, I couldn't think straight. After all these years, working here in Canada, giving up Mahiya to care for him, for our son, this is how he repays me? Lumayas ka dito, don't ever come back. He took his clothes, some of our stuff, and then he left.
It's all her fault. Why Itala? She's always, Roberto, you have to do this. Roberto, why don't you do that? She's the same way with me, and she drives me nuts. Miguel, study hard. Do the dishes. Just eat your tuna salad and stop complaining. In Manila, I never had to do the dishes. Lola would always take me to school here. Inay keeps on saying, tandaan mo na, school is important. But she never helped me with my homework. She doesn't even find the time to attend the parent-teacher meetings. And I feel I'm the only kid in school whose parents never show up. When she gets home, she's so tired. How can I give you up a whole shift just to be able to attend a meeting about her school? It's always about making money, more money. It's for you, anak, for your future. But what about me now? What about my life now? She wants me to study college after. But what use is college anyway? She graduated from my university in Manila. She was a teacher, now she attends to random people and works at a grocery. What's a degree school for? School is such a waste of time. Basta, next year when I'm 16, I'm gonna find a job and make my own money. So that I don't have to hear her say, money doesn't grow on trees, Miguel. And how she sacrificed her life for me. But living so far away from me, not being able to see me for 7 fucking years, tell me, Hindi ba sinakripisyo mo rin naman ako?
Sakripisyo. This is what it's all about, right? Blessed are the poor, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's what Father de la Cruz used to keep on telling us at our parish in Malabon when I was growing up. I had this image of heaven in my head. Everything was gold, the walls, the curtains, and there would be food and snow everywhere. So, even when I was a child and we would go to sleep hungry, I thought, that's okay. In heaven, I'll have all the fried chicken I want. All I need to do is to wait. And so, when I thought of coming to Canada, I thought, what's a few years of sacrifice? If I could do it for a better life, for my son. The night before I left for Canada, when Miguel was about to go to bed, Anak, tomorrow Inay is going somewhere, okay?
Where am I?
To this place called Canada.
What will you do there?
I'm going to find us a new house where everything is gold, with lots of food, and where they have snow.
Wow, I want to go with you, Inay.
Not yet, anak. I have to go there first, and then you'll follow, okay? He nodded and then fell asleep. While he lay there, I looked at my son's face, his eyes, his cheeks. I knew that tomorrow, if he saw me crying when I left, he would cry too, and I wouldn't be able to leave. So, the next day before he woke up, I kissed him on the forehead, and then I took my bags. I took my bags and left. I was crying all the way to the airport. I was crying on the plane. Sometimes I feel I haven't stopped crying since.
Sometimes, I feel this is when I started to remember things. So, the morning when I left, I remember waking up with the white beams of the ceiling looking down on me. I remembered my dream. I was in this beautiful place with big golden houses and snow. That must be Canada. That's where Inay said she was going. I was so excited. I ran to the kitchen to tell her I saw it, Inay, I saw Canada. But she wasn't in the kitchen, and instead, I found my grandmother.
Where is Inay, Lola?
Miguel, your inay has left.
I want to go with her to Canada.
No, Canada is very far away. This morning, your itay took her to the airport.
Sa airport, pati po nila ako sinama.
Apo, halika nga dito. Apo ko, bawal ang mga baby sa airport.
Ba't di sila nagpaalam sa akin?
Apo, ayaw ka na nila gisingin. Kasi, nag-beauty rest ka, ayaw nila masira yung tulog mo.
But when will I see her? I want my Inay.
Soon, Miguel. You'll see her soon.
That time, my mother left. Soon, become days, weeks, months. At 7, I realized very painful truth. My mother had abandoned me. And as the years went by, and her image began to fade, I could no longer remember what it was like. The way she touched my cheeks, the feel of her hands. Sure, she sent home money, sent me toys, and chocolates. Sure, there were phone calls and pictures, but you can't hug a phone call, can you? And the picture can tell you that everything will be alright.
Soon, anak, soon. I promise you, life will be better. For you, for both of us. Soon.
Inay, all these years I've been waiting. Tell me, please tell me, when does soon begin?
Just wait, anak. Soon, everything will be alright.
Oh, I hate tuna salad. I'm sick of vagels. Oh, vagels.
Yuko ka, doon ka sa kabilang side at sino just papalit ka. May 1, 2, 3, go. Welcome. Mga bakla. Go. Closer.
Yung game na ba?
Oo.
Yung ganon?
Yan! I like that, ha?
Katuloy mo. Ano ba?
2, 3, action. Now push. Bakit tingin?
What would it... Ano ba? Ba't ito?
Action.
A teacher going abroad to be a caregiver sa...
3, action.
A teacher going abroad...
2, 3, action.
What would it...
Roberto, there's no space for Hiya here. If we want to build this family without...
3, action.
Roberto, there's no space for...
Action.
Roberto, there's no space for Hiya here.
Hindi niya mabuksan.
And then I took my bags. I took my bag. Kakahiya. 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 Lumayas ka dito. Don't ever come back.
Man, 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 man. Man, 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 man. Open the fridge. Bagels and tuna salad. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, 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 yeah. Bagels, bagels.
Nakakahiya, he would say. Nakakahiya, 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 nakakahiya.